Today I will be addressing some things people had issues with brought up about my scaling during the Minato vs Tobirama video. These issues stem from me saying Obito is in some degree relative to Minato at the time. If you enjoy this content, I would very much appreciate if you liked the video and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get into the truth about Obito. One of the major points in my previous video about Tobirama vs Minato, which you can see here, was about Minato's death, comparing him to 14-year-old Obito. In this, I described how Minato and Obito's fight was fairly even, or at least implied that they were relative. Though I've gotten ridicule from a few people saying this is false, but I'm here to fully defend this. Firstly, during their fight, just before Minato dealt the final blow, he himself stated, "It all comes down to whose attack is a split second faster." Few people have been saying that this was referring to just that finishing blow, Minato's finishing blow, and if Obito was faster, all it would do is prolong the fight or something along those lines. I disagree with this interpretation. What I believe is that at this moment, it was implied if Obito was a split second faster, he would have won, but it was Minato who was faster. Also, the fact that Minato said it like this implies some level of difficulty. Additionally, there are several other things implicating Obito's strength here. Even this translation words it as though Obito would win if he was the split second faster. People also like to mention Minato was exhausted from suppressing the Nine Tails and using Flying Raijin on its tailed beast bomb. What they fail to understand is Obito would have used as much, if not more, chakra than Minato. Firstly, he took out an entire squadron of Anbu specifically assigned by Hiruzen. The amount of chakra for both this and suppressing Kurama held in by the strongest seal we know in the series is unknown, but clearly something comparable. And then on top of destroying several Anbu, Obito was capable of actively stealing Naruto from everyone and then trading Naruto out for stealing Kushina and blowing up an entire building with paper bombs. This is where he outplayed Minato in an intelligence level, at least once, by successfully separating Minato and Kushina, allowing him to continue his plan. Minato is obviously smarter, but this shows relativity. And then after Obito forcefully breaks Kushina's Jinchuriki seal, which is canonically one of, if not the strongest seal we know of, although it was weakened, Obito still broke it. And then Obito was capable of putting Kurama into a genjutsu fully controlling him. The only other character we have seen capable of this was Madara. After all that, Obito then summoned the Nine Tails inside of Konoha. This summoning obviously requires massive amounts of chakra comparable to transportation of a tailed beast bomb via Flying Raijin. Because of this, I don't think Obito had any chakra advantage here. And even if he did, Minato shouldn't be exhausted, as he was shown being still capable of using Flying Raijin on the full Nine Tails, summoning Gamabunta and Gamatora, and then the Reaper Death Seal in conjunction with the 8 Trigram Seal. All of this would imply that he still had plenty of chakra left, and if you have chakra left, you can fight at your full capacity. So with that section dealt with, I'll go over every implication towards Obito actually being a challenge for Minato. Firstly, when talking to Naruto through Spirit, he tells Naruto, who at the time is a perfect sage, he sealed the Nine Tails into Naruto to take on the masked man we know as Obito, even calling him formidable, implying Naruto as he is still isn't strong enough and would likely need mastery of Kurama. Additionally, during their fight, Minato was impressed enough to mistake Obito for Madara in the given circumstances. Obito was also capable of getting Minato trapped in by his chains and nearly put him into coma. On top of that, at the very end of their fight, before Minato won, Obito said, "I win," implying he would have won had Minato not used Flying Raijin to get behind him and hit him with the Rasengan, i.e. it was a close fight. Giving a quick recap of the overall situation, Minato and Obito should have had similar levels of chakra consumption because they performed similar chakra feats before their scuffle. During their scuffle, Obito was able to put Minato into a bad position twice. Just before the end, Minato stated, "It's all down to who's a split second faster." In this scenario, with context implying one or the other would win in this moment. And just after that, Obito stated, "I win," implying he would have beaten Minato in that moment, before finally being surprised by Minato's usage of Flying Raijin, in which Minato won. With all this information restated, I hope the clarity of the implications from my previous video has improved. To go over a last couple of points made by others, Obito had full intel on Minato. This isn't a huge deal and wouldn't be all that game-changing. However, it does still give Obito a slight advantage here. Others have said Minato only hyped Obito up so much because he knows so much and has crazy ideologies. This is only coming from people who wank Minato, so there isn't much point in addressing them if all this stuff previously wasn't enough to convince them already. I hope this convinced those who thought Minato stomped Obito during their fight to think it was a much closer battle. And keep in mind, I am by no means saying Obito is equal or stronger than Minato, just that he has a relative strength, meaning close, in power, but clearly weaker. If you are enjoying this content, it would be much appreciated if you liked and subscribed. Our next videos are going to be part of a series called Dojutsu In Depth, so stay tuned for that.